Hello friends, I haven't posted coaching videos for a long time, and since I mostly operate as a chess coach, I thought it was time that we start re-uploading, hopefully regularly, coaching content. Shout out to my student Derek who contributed this lesson to the cause. So in fact, this may go up in 1, 2 or 3 installments, so I might use this intro in for more than one video. Anyway, long story short, you are now going to see the insights of a chess lesson where we are going to analyze games played by Derek, who just attended an over-the-board tournament. So without further ado, let's dive in. We are going to now look at your 4 games from the, what was it again? Washington Seniors? Why are they insulting you with words like seniors, man? Like, there is a spring still in your step like a teenager, right? What's going on with this? Alright, let's have a look at the game. So first up, we are playing against Paul Harwood, who is 1836. So almost 300 ratings out rating us. But that didn't... Oh, yeah. Look, that was never part of the deal, senor. Indeed. We good now? Okay, I am not so happy that there is analysis available, so let me shut that down. We don't need that. That's what I am here for. Okay, so, oh yes. Okay, so I have seen the games already. So obviously I have got a bit of an agenda, but we're going to take it one step at a time. When this landed on the board, what were you thinking? Did you expect it? Okay. So you didn't expect b5? Exactly. So if you play a6 and you don't play b5, in my eyes, you're like, what are you going, bro? Where are you going with this? So this definitely would make me go like, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. And it's illogical too, because the whole point of a6 is to keep the pawn. Or at least throw a curveball in for us to make it harder to regain it. So e5 is perfectly fine. Takes is perfectly fine. Everything is very clear and logical until now. Now, I don't know if you had a look or not, but if you did, I would still ask the question of, during the game, if I had asked you at this point to give me a numeric eval, what would you have said? I think I don't want to split hairs, but 0.3 is not a clear advantage. A clear advantage is 0.8 to +1. That's where when you can feel that I'm clearly better. +3 is hardly any. 0.3 is hardly anything. That's like almost not noticeable. Whereas here, I would say that our advantage, switching from engine language to human language, is noticeable. Like, you have got a dominant center, piece freedom, and a very likely ripping kingside attack as soon as they castle, which is something they shouldn't do. Or not in a hurry. Castles, bishop e7. And here we played rook e1. I don't know if you remember what I told you that you should have considered here in our Discord chat. Do you remember? No, that is going to be relevant in the next move after castles, yes. The move that I recommended you to play here is actually addressing the issue of what if black is not castling but instead starts playing counterplay c5, knight c6 type of things. It had something to do with your queen. It is 92. It is 92. And it was a bit of a misleading clue, truthful, but obviously it helps you to centralize the knight too. But the primary objective is to play queen g4. And you need to remember this as an idea or as a motif in this pawn structure because it's a very common theme. If we rewind the tape and we look at the correct way of playing this opening, which is b5, then after e5, knight d5, not that I want to put you on the spot, but do you remember what our theory is here? Negative. Yes, it is a4, and this is where our theory splits based on whether black plays knight takes or knight b6. And this is one of the most obnoxious lines, in my opinion, in our variation, and I do say it in the course too, that this is the greatest challenge, where black gives up b5, but hangs on to c4, and they have got this glorious diagonal. And I have been experimenting here with an interesting idea, which is that after e6, I have had a few games where I played here queen d2. What do you think is the idea? It's quite crazy. Queen f4 is definitely part of the deal, but I don't want to park it there, no. It's similar to 4. 3 or 4, likely 4 though, because you want to keep an eye on this customer. But yeah, the idea is that this pawn structure really likes the queen here. And so I'm willing to spend a fair few moves to get there. It's not great, but it's something a bit quirky and worth a try every now and then. I just wanted to show you that, excuse me, it is not completely outlandish to work on that queen to get to g4, even at the cost of retreating the knight to d2. I mean, it hardly is a retreating move because it's coming to e4 next, right? So let's just play it out. Yeah, he, and we are already looking at game-winning threats. Also worth noting that d4 is not even hanging in, yeah, because of knight f6. So it's a very, very compact setup for you. Yes, mind you would of course take with the queen, immediately winning the game on the double attack. But that goes without saying. Yeah, okay, so we played queen c2, and this is where unfortunately we played a really, really bad move by playing queen c2. Now, aside from the fact that we're completely putting them the wrong order, and I really don't mean to be unpleasant, but I would like to understand, well, I guess the moves explain what you were hoping to get out of this. Like, you knew h6 was coming, right? So what have we accomplished? Like, where is this all going? Or where are you going with this? Yeah, let's assume they do this. Yeah, so how do you figure that you are going to get to do that? Like, give me a scenario / next 3 moves for white so that I understand how we get to do this. Exactly. So the issue, Derek, is that with this, and you must have felt it in the game too, we have got them in the complete wrong order. And really, the only plan that would allow you to still make this attack work would be to reshuffle still. Something like queen e2, bishop back, queen d3. Because it's so damn strong once it's set up. I honestly don't know if it's doable anymore. And if I had to bet, I would go with no. But I would still try it. And back. And against every move that is not c4, I'm playing queen d3 next. And that shreds. Which, by the way, makes me wonder if bishop b1 here is the move. So that even after c4, well, after c4 I can still... My plan was that if they play c4, I wanted to do this, which is also incredibly annoying and powerful. But maybe bishop b1 is even more versatile in that it allows me to do this if I want to. And by the way, this is game winning. Like, it's over right now. Because you just cannot stop the mate without shredding material. Like, f5 takes looks horrid. g6 bishop takes h6. And it's not even the material, it's more the subsequent h4, h5 plans, or there's a variety of ways how you can get to me, but it's over. So even here, I think it was very, very realistic for us to go for queen e2 and try to do the reshuffle. I'm actually very curious. I will check on the engine for a second to see. Yeah, look at that, man. Like, we're still in plus 0.7 territory. And I too thought that 97 was the only way to deal with this, with reshuffling things. Funnily enough, here bishop c2 is not on the menu though, so let me try to think about why that is. The only thing I can think of is rook e8, knight f8. Let me see. So if I go bishop c2, what will the... Yeah, see? The boss still has it. Rook e8. Rook e8, top move by the machine. Yeah. I'm not meaning to suggest that at all. What I was certainly suggesting is that even after queen c2 h6, you had the opportunity to undo this mess and go after them. Now let's get to the point. So obviously, instead of queen c2, you needed to play bishop back and queen d3. And this is your bread and butter. And the only reason why I felt a little bit upset about you not finding this is because there are multiple lines in our repertoire where we do this. Well, multiple is probably unfair, but more than one. The Tarrasch features this in the IQP structures. In general, anything that is IQP, right? So I will show you the Tarrasch one, which we have. Well, I'm doing the most non-Tarrasch move order, but whatever. So here, right, like in these IQP structures, and I'm really not playing good chess for black now, but you get the point. Yeah, b6 is met by d5, but yeah, let's assume that we go for this. Yes, like queen d3, once again, this is the attacking pattern that we're dying to do. And you see again, queen d3, it's slightly different, yeah, granted, like there's no bishop on the diagonal yet, but you already see that with queen d3 at this point, I'm already setting up for the subsequent attack. And note how every move I play, seemingly developing, but in fact already purposefully directed at the upcoming attack on h7, right? So rook here, and now I don't want to play bishop b1 to lock the bishop in, so I play rook d1, final developing move. And against pretty much anything black can throw at us, my next move is this. That is our stock standard IQP plan. Like, this is the #1 attacking setup that one needs to know in the IQP. And this is very, very similar vibes, except a heap easier and a lot more impactful. Because you have got greater space in the center. And so when the g6 weakening happens, the next wave of the attack is going to unfold with far greater ease than it can do in the IQP. Right. So we played bishop e4, and that was a sad moment in life because we are trading our pride. And worse still is that they don't have to actually take it, because if they did, I would still be willing to believe that there is some kingside pressure. Maybe. It's now speculative at best, but we can still maybe rock the boat here with queen h5. God forbid a rook lift. Hard to believe in it. Granted, rook e4 is going to be met by f5. And then after en passant, we're getting forked. Maybe knight g5 check. Yeah, I don't know. This now we are entering the realm of uncertainty, not enough pieces to attack with and so on. But I think queen c8 was quite fine to even disallow that. Now, as soon as this story occurred, the next thing that I wanted to see was an a4 bite. Which I wish I hadn't spoken out loud and asked you to find, but I wasn't sure about how good it was in this particular moment. Except that the more I look at it, the more I realize that I think this is your best course of action. And this indicates, rather demonstrates, not indicates, but demonstrates the beauty and complexity of chess. That we had a 10-minute spiel about how to build up your kingside attack, and then now we randomly unleash on the other wing. But there is a logic to it. And that is the fact that, well, we can't attack on the kingside anymore. And two, there doesn't seem to be an adequate response to this. I cut you off there, by the way. What did you want to say? Actually, I need to backpedal a little bit, though. There is an adequate move to it, which is 97, because a4 threatens to take, and then the x-ray motif allows us to win a piece, right? But unfortunately, this defends it. Which is so typical, right? That the most desirable move is the best move. I don't know if I would now play rook b1, but I suppose this is the way to justify a4, because basically what we want to do is to provoke one of two things. Either the take, which splits the pawns, obviously it can't be played now because it's hanging, or the c6 push, which poops on the bishop on b7. I still think that white is better here. Maybe I am delusional, but I do think that it's not so easy to handle the pressure now that it's coming down on b5. If takes, I take back with the rook, I think. Queen is also logical. I don't know, actually. I'm not sure if I need to worry about this pawn. Because if I take with the queen, takes... Yeah, I was hoping to roll these pawns up, but maybe this pawn becomes a bit of a pest. So let's just be conservative and take with the rook, which, by the way, still reintroduces no rook g4 ideas. And b5 is still on, right? So now they managed to keep the structure intact, but now we can switch back to attack. And this is really nasty. After king h8, for the first time in this game, we might actually have bishop h6. It's a really cute and well-known drawing mechanism, by the way. Not that I want to draw. And then you just constantly attack. But I wonder if I can walk up on the staircase, or rather how far I can walk up on the staircase to make a difference. Is there a tactic here, senor, that I might be not seeing? Gee, wouldn't it be nice to have a third bishop in this dang game of chess, right? Like, why two only? Why two only? We need more of the clergy in the house. Yeah, I do think it's a draw. But I want to embarrass myself in front of a large number of people, so let's turn on the machine quick. Yeah, completely winning. Okay, so let's see what we are missing. I don't know. Why are you asking me? No, I'm joking. Okay, so rook g3, very, very, very good idea. I missed it altogether. I guess takes to try to stir the pot a little bit on the back rank. But I also think that we can just ignore that. Well, let's not blunder this rook. I don't think that that would be conducive to winning a chess game, right? Yep, that was the point. But yeah, you can just completely ignore me and bugger off and rook h3 next. Shout out to you, senor. I think you beat the system and me as well. Yes. Well done. Tremendous. So, yeah, we put it together by the looks of things, and not that I want to claim any glory, but it all stemmed from a4. Wink, wink. Okay, engine dead. Let's go on. So, bishop e4, queen c8. Oh, we did play a4. Oh, but then we played bishop a3. Yeah. Look, I don't want to make a generalization here, but I will. I do find it a lot in my coaching practice that players, especially players who struggle with conducting forceful, direct, very aggressive attacks, when they get stuck, they almost invariably tend to offer trades. And if you look at it, we kind of got stuck on the hard to attack here already. Offer trade, yeah. Then you found again your momentum. And then lost again. Offer trade again. And the problem with this is that whilst you probably are keeping your position safe, you are killing your own chances. And I don't know if you thought about rook b1 in the game or not. I'm not even sure if it's best, but it certainly is in the spirit of being annoying and aggressive. Like, I'm really trying to hit you where it hurts. Alright, whereas bishop a3, yeah, it trades off your bishop that is supposedly not that great, so positionally it's fine. But very clearly the position is very quickly headed toward dullism. And structurally, I don't know. I don't like these pawns. There are lots of gaps in between them that is blockadable. So in the long run, I'm not looking forward to an endgame, thank you very much. I would much rather try to fish in murky waters. And I'm not even calling this murky. I think this is crystal clear that this is what we need to do. I want to check with the boss. Yeah, the boss plays c5 because the boss knows how to play dynamic chess. Now, I love that as a response. And it certainly somewhat devalues my idea. I would like to add the fact that chances of your opponent finding this would have been remote. But once again, like, yes, there are trades here too, but these are insane complications, man. Like, this is so much calculation. And to come up with this is black's best. I mean, Kramnik is immediately reporting the tournament, the entire city's administration for something untoward if he uncorked this, right? So, if that's the best that black can do against rook b1, I'm playing rook b1 against everyone below 2600, right? Hands down. It takes a fair bit of three cojones is what it takes. Not two is not enough. Yeah. Oh, the a5 pressure. Oh, yeah, yeah. Exactly, and if you really want to be honest with yourself, Derek, I don't need a supporter to play c5. Right? Like, assume that c5 is not guarded by all the 47 pieces I have. Even then you wouldn't take it, because that just completely wrecks your structure. So to trade this on account of one fewer pieces covering c5 is like pouring water into the sea. It's like it's not gonna make a difference at all. Anyway, let's move on. Take c5, take. Yeah, okay. So this is precisely the structure that I was worried about, or rather the tendency that more and more trades closer and closer to an endgame. And yeah, this is the ultimate. I don't want this. So if you look at your opening pawn structure, from here, the worst thing that can happen to us is exactly what happened in the game. That 2/3 of the pieces are off, and we are looking at an endgame with a backward pawn versus a passer. Now, it sounds very cruel, but this is a good way to demonstrate of what you are working toward to avoid. Oh, you mean on a3? Yeah. Yeah. But I want to very strongly highlight to you is that without a shadow of a doubt, you have the initiative here, right? It's very easily debatable how big of an initiative that is, ranging from very, very little to, noticeable. And we kind of killed our own initiative by offering these trades. Or allowing further trades to happen, like this one, which we initiated like 5 moves ago, but it's gonna take place like 10 moves later down the track. But so the mere fact that there were so many trades possible made Black's life very easy comparatively to how difficult it could have been. Do we want to trade the rooks as well, Derek? Yeah, I don't know the answers, unfortunately. Yeah, okay, let's see. So we went rook c3 logical. Yeah, knight b6 logical. Yeah. Yeah, I'm very glad you played knight d2, so we are blocking the pawn with the knight as we should. Yeah, very good. Oh, why is it not going direct all the way? We've been here already many times, haven't we? Okay, hang on. I need to follow you here. So what other pawn do you have to worry about than h4 itself? It's guarded. Okay, fair. So let me ask you this question. What's Black's winning plan? Okay, so basically what I am gathering from that is knight c3 and then attack the knight, yeah? Okay, let's see. I hear you. It's somewhat fair, I think, what you're saying. So I'm going to be investigating this further as we go along. They didn't play here knight c3 because of queen c4. Wait, I don't understand this. What is the point of queen b2? Okay, I'm so confuzzled. Now, I hate to tell you this, but I already won the previous argument, because if you play g3, then that would have covered h4, yeah? Which means that, by definition, you prefer this, because if you can sneak it up here, then you will have perpetual check possibilities down the track. I didn't mean to score that point, just that I told you so, but having cg3, I couldn't help but notice. I'm still utterly puzzled about this. Okay, so let's see knight c3, queen c4. Is there an obvious win here for black? That So there is a mate pattern here that I could work toward, which is that I give a backrank check, and then I facilitate a knight e2 with a mate on g1. The funny thing is that I just can't do it, because when I go queen e1, you take this, and it's a pin. Which is quite hilarious. Well, it's almost inevitable, right? Like that appears to be the only way to go ahead. Okay, so attack on f2 proved to be too much to handle, eh? What do you mean? Uh-huh. Yep. Yeah, I thought that's where you were going. Yeah, unlikely. Mm. Right. Okay. Final idea. No, never mind. I can't play knight c5 because d4 is weak. Hmm. Yeah, this does look like a not so happy scenario. I will check with the boss just finally. Yes. Yeah. Okay. We are busted here. Fair enough. Fair enough. And by the way, a3 h4 in hindsight made no difference in that regard whatsoever. Yeah, the final mate motif was neat. We have to admit that. Um, yeah, interesting game, Derek. I feel like if you had found the correct attacking plan with Queen Bishop, it would have been a very different story, like drastically different. But of course, the ifs and the would have, could haves are not exactly historically relevant concepts, but lesson learned. So you know now that these two guys want to be the other way around, and then we are going to be happy campers. Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is a fairly popular mistake, this early e6 without playing b5. And like I said, it occurs a lot in the Tarash and other structures as well. Okay. On to the next, which is not this.